Okay, Connie, hello. I think in bringing you in, unfortunately, ended the Facebook Live. So we will get the others in here if they wish to continue with what they were doing. I
Oh,
don't
I'm really
know.
sorry.
And then we will see whether they want to continue. Otherwise, we'll have to try and see if we can do it later online again. But yeah, so what we'll do, just to let you know where we were putting what your vision is for 2025 for you to catch up with where we were. So maybe have 5 minutes or so just to think about what your vision may be for 2025. Okay. Currently, Restream is working again, so we're going to try and see whether we can get people started. There's a bit of a time delay. So as people are coming in, either they're coming in here and Tasha can bring them in, or they'll just stay on Facebook and they can continue from there. And let's hope this works. Connie, I'm just going to give you the second question so you can catch up. The second one is, how do you want to seize power in that particular issue? This doesn't have to be legal, by the way. This can be anything. I have no idea whether we are streaming again, but it wasn't a minute ago. So if you are watching this, oh, I think we may be back. Okay, so that, for those who have now come off, if you come back a little bit later, it will be on the replay. I'm sorry about that, but we can just try and continue. So we got to the point of how do you want to seize power in whatever it is that you had noted down earlier was what your vision would be for 2025. Okay. And as I said, um, that's really what we need to focus on. The third thing is, what impact do you want to take? What impact do you want to have? Apologies. What impact do you want to make in that issue to resolve it? I'm going to rewind a little bit so we're clear, because I know there's other people coming in. We started with what the vision was for 2025. Things may have been getting in the way because of Christmas, coming into New Year. And so I was just asking you what was getting in the way and how would you like to seize power in the issue? And we're just moving on to what impact do you want to make or have? And just to guide you a little bit, the impact is different to how you want to seize power. There's two separate things. If you're joining again for the first time, I'd love you again to put your comment as to who you are or where you're coming in from. And just to let me know whether you've caught up or whether you're starting this afresh, that would help me guide me as to how far we get on this today. okay, before I take the next step. So hopefully I'm moving quite quickly here now. I know we had some time earlier, but I'm just mindful of the people who I told was about half an hour's, and because of the glitch, we seem to be a little bit behind, okay? So I'm just going to pause my camera and put it back to audio, and then we'll move on to the next part. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to ask you is if you're having a legal issue, we're purely now talking to people who may have a legal issue, okay? Um, how do you want to seize power in that particular issue? Now, you may have more than one legal issue, I don't know. I'm just concentrating on one at this point. Choose the biggest one, if that helps. Okay, people, it may be that you've just come back on. I see that there's about 4 or so people, and I don't want you to miss out on this because I think that was kind of the number earlier. So just checking in with you, were you on the call at the beginning before we had the glitch? If you could just say yes or no, I can see where we are, and I think it's important for you to have the rest of what you missed so we can make sure that everybody's at the same stage. So if you could just say, maybe type 1 for being here at the beginning and 2 for coming halfway through the last, I think, half an hour now because of the delay. Okay, I'm going to assume that we're all in the right place. And I was asking about seizing power. Now I want to know how you want to make impact in that legal dispute now. Okay, and great to hear that you're all here, in fact, and Sabrina, welcome. Great to have you as well. I know you've been trying to get timetables worked out to do this, so really good to see you. Um, I think where we left off for those who were here at the beginning, and there's quite a few of you, we got to the point when it was how do you want to make impact, okay? So I really want to stay with you to do this. And for your part, you weren't here when we moved on to the legal side, so stick with where you were and deal with the impact you want to make at that stage. And then we can slowly move on. So we're all up to speed. There's no rush here. Sabrina, just to quickly help you out, it was what vision do you want to make in what vision do you want to have in 2025 was the first question. How are you how have you got to the point you're at? It could have been Christmas was a bit difficult for people, maybe a bit of anxiety moving into this year, and that sort of thing. So what's kind of getting in the way? So the second point was, or the second question was, how do you want to seize power in that? Doesn't have to be legal. And if you could just type a 3 when you're there. Sabrina, I'm going to let you perhaps work on this. I know you're kind of familiar with a few ways of working, so I think you'll probably catch up, as you say. But if the others who were here a little bit earlier, if you want to just type a 3 in the chat when you're there. And Connie, I know you're on Zoom because you couldn't get in. If you could just give me a 3 if you're with us up to that point, I think you may well have had to be quite fast moving ahead. Perfect. Excellent, Connie. Okay, I'll just wait for, I think, Yvette to see where she is, and Clara maybe before moving forward. Okay. Anybody else in number 3? Excellent. Okay. Oh, we're there. I think we're there. Great. So what I'm going to do is just let you guys think about any legal issues that you may have. Doesn't mean you're seeing a lawyer. It may be that you've not talked about it with anybody. This is for you. So if there is anything in relation to that that you want to, you don't have to put in the chat. It might be personal. Yeah, I entirely get that. But for yourself, do you want to think of that issue and ask what your vision is in relation to that? Ask yourself that. I'm going to give you a few minutes and then just put a 4 when you're done, please. You guys are brilliant. Okay. So you've set out the vision for this legal issue that you have. Again, same question, how do you want to seize power in that? And then put a 5 when you're there. Just holding on, I think, for one person if they're still here. Just give it another minute. Okay, they may have had to move because of children. So I'm going to move on to what impact do you want to make? And just remember, this is different to seizing power, okay? So try and make them separate if you can. Give you a few minutes for that. I think that we are probably at a position where one person may have missed the last question. It's what impact do you want to make? And when you're there, just put a 6 if you could in the chat so I can see that you've all caught up. I think someone else has just come back. So I think we're probably all almost together. Do you all need those on Facebook? Do you need more time? Seems like you do. Journaling away. I'll give you a few more minutes. Okay, I feel like you might need a little bit more time, a few of you, doing this part because a lot of you are still here, unless you've fallen asleep, which I don't think you have. I don't think it's been that bad, that you're actually still jotting stuff down. So it might be something you want to come back to, but I am mindful of your time because you have all been here, I think, for almost 50 minutes, despite the technical, let's start again, technical glitch. So I want to make sure that I honour your time as much as I can. Okay. It is kind of late as well. Um, so I'm going to go on to the next thing, which you're probably thinking about anyway, I would have thought. What is the one thing that you've been prioritizing over your legal preparation? So, what is the one thing that you've been prioritizing over your legal preparation that you shouldn't be concentrating on anymore? Now, this could be money, something that you've kind of gone with money related. It could be emotionally, it could be your energy, your mindset. Any of these things could be getting in the way because you're focusing on something else that you probably shouldn't be at this point and putting the legal side downwards as not being a priority. So have a think about that for a few minutes. Yeah, of course. So I'm going to repeat the question. It's a long question. What was the one thing? I don't want you to pick several things because look, we all have a lot of things going on. It's quite difficult to focus and concentrate in our lives. We've got distractions, but what is the one thing that you have been prioritizing over your legal preparation? So you focused on somewhere else, something else. It could be, you know, led you down a path with regards to your mindset, perhaps, or it could be money related that you focused because that's helpful and that's nice, buying things in a particular way when you should be focused on the legal side, and it's become more difficult because of that. It could be emotionally you're invested in something that you don't really need to be invested in right now. It could be your energy. Okay, so any of that sort of stuff. Just the one thing, because I know we have loads of things on our list sometimes. If that's helped those on Zoom, just let me know. Just drop me a yes. Perfect. Oh, thank you as well. I hadn't realised people have been dropping comments. I couldn't see the comments. It must be Facebook, but I'm glad that you're still here. And hopefully that's getting you to where you need to be today. Okay, drop a 7 when you're there. And if you're willing to share, you don't have to share. Look, I get legal stuff is difficult to share publicly. Anything that you're prioritizing over it could be what a lot of you are prioritizing. So is there anything that you want to share in the chat? You don't have to, of course. You could DM me. Say DM me, you could on Zoom you could, but on in the other chat, you probably can't actually. So don't worry too much if you are not able to do that. I'm just wondering if I can assist in any way at this point. It also shows you're all human. Okay, so has everybody got to the point that they've got their priority, know what they shouldn't be focusing on in order to move forward with the legal issue? Drop a thumbs up in the chat or react however way you wish. I don't mind, just so I know that you're with me and we can move on forward to that unless you've got any questions at this point. I'm so sorry because there is a delay on Facebook and that's been really irritating. Um, the one thing then I wanted to really share with you today was that, we have started 2025. You've got a lot of things to be grateful for, yes, of course, but really you've got a long way to go, that things can be great now. And I wanted you to be able to see what the vision is, because it's the best time of the year to do this, I think. And I know I've done this in a slightly different way with at least one or two of you before, but I thought, why not do it now? Okay, so it's my free gift to you. I'm hoping you benefited from it. I know that there was a glitch and that can be a bit frustrating when you've got everything worked out. I probably will on the next occasion of doing something on here, like not exactly this, but something to make sure that you have a Zoom link because yeah, that could have perhaps solved some problems. So I live and learn. But the offer I wanted to give to people, it may be that some of you are not business owners, but I know a lot of you know that I'm doing a business owner legal society membership. And before I go, because it starts on the 22nd of January, I wanted to let you know on Facebook particularly, clients know already who are on here perhaps, but it's something that starts 22nd of January. It's £800 per calendar month for 12 months. You have some training around business issues, you have a group membership, so there's other peers on it, and there'll be some experts that are relevant to what you need and what you tell me you need as we go forward this year. The other thing to say, if that's not a suitable fit, I also have an application process where people can work with me in a more closer way, in fact, and they also get the group membership tied into that. But that's on an application only basis. Now, I think we can do this, Tasha, in the Facebook chat first, if you could. I think you can perhaps share, just simply put DM or application or app. So if you're interested in the group membership, either on the replay or live, then just put DM and then we will get back to you with the more details and we can have a proper question as to whether you're a fit for that. Alternatively, if you would like to work more closely than that at a higher level, then that is something where you can have group access. If you wish, you get that automatically with that. But that will be application or app, APP in the chat for you to have access to that. Okay. I think that covers everything. I'm just going to show you my t-shirt again because I love this t-shirt. got it in Florida, I think, last year with a group of business people. And one of them, Nicole, shouting her out, does sell t-shirts. And this is great. You'll create your own dreams. Mine are taken if you can't read, I think, backwards here. So that's, I thought, a suitable t-shirt to wear for this. I'm seeing a couple of you probably this week, if not next week. And I'm going to see a couple of people who I know are coming back on this, on the replay in a few days. So thank you so much, guys, for being on this as long as you have been. And any questions, reach out, but I do appreciate your time. Okay, thank you. Hope it helped. Let me know if it helped in the chat. That would be amazing. Okay, take care. Bye.